you know, the next spot here. So let's take a look. APA still deserves the bans. He's getting some respect not only for his Ziggs, but also his Azir.
Exactly. Double mid lane ban starting it off here for FlyQuest. Over on the other side, the Orianna gets banned away. Her and Azir are often dance partners in mid lane.
Yep.
If one's gone, generally the other one's going to be taken out as well. With Varus and Karma both knocked out here by C9, targeting some bottom lane power early on.
Yeah, and I like the Karma ban, not only because I just think enchanters in general are super, super strong, but also I do feel like, despite the fact that Azael covered a few mistakes from FlyQuest bot lane, on the lounge, I think Massu and Cryogen have been really, really good in those bot 2v2s, especially around some of these pushing lanes.
I like this Taliyah ban, actually, because even though a lot of teams will trade Taliyah and Ryze, APA is so good on Taliyah, and I would say not really near his Taliyah level on Ryze. And so they're taking away that Taliyah, so they're not going to have to do that trade. And then you get the first pick for Thanatos anyway, so you get Thanatos' Ambesa, big Ambesa carry. But I think that Quad should be able to get a favorable matchup for himself here. And APA himself, whenever we ask about mid laners, he says Quad is the best in the LCS. He has so much respect for Quad. And you have to think a lot of that does come from lane phase as well.
All right, so top laner is going to be prioritized by both sides here. That Ambesa you mentioned for Thanatos. We will get the Rumble locked in for Gakgos here too. What else does FlyQuest want to draft alongside this? You mentioned Quad getting a favorable matchup. I feel especially so considering it's all three APA bans here in the first half. Mid lane looks to be the point of focus here for FlyQuest, and the Zaahen will get locked in.
Yeah, I was going to say last time we saw the Zaahen coming out for Blaber in the jungle. This time we're making the assumption that Gryffinn is going to be piloting that for FlyQuest.
Yeah, definitely going to be him. It's funny because, we got the mini Blaber over here. And now he's going to be the understudy for his Zaahen jungle, which did start to gain a lot of popularity when they buffed up his jungle clear. He's got some extra monster modifiers that were buffed. And the important thing to watch is when you're kiting your camps close together and getting the outer edge of your E-spin for the maximum damage there.
And on the other side, as we see the Ksante locked in, that means that Blaber is going to be taking that Ambesa into the jungle. And we see APA going to the NEeko. He's one of the only players in the league that I feel like still brings out the mid NEeko, but is so, so good at it.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you have a team with Thanatos on it, I'm like, oh man, for sure it's got to be Thanatos carry Ambesa, right? No, it's not. They're giving it to Blaber, which is going to make our jungle matchup even more fun. We got our two carry junglers fighting each other. But APA has gone back to something we already saw him bring back out, which is his classic NEeko mid. Not a lot of other mid laners at all still play it mid, but it plays for jungle carry so well. Emily, if you are playing Ambesa jungle, what do you want as your mid laner? You want an AP threat with lots of CC.
Let's go. It is chain CC. Like, I can get on top of someone so quickly. And then on the other side, we have the Ryze coming out for Quad. Like you already pointed out, talking to a lot of mid laners in the league, they always talk about how good Quad is at fundamentals, at seeing the map. Ryze is, again, I've talked about it as a cheat if you want to be better at your side laning, but I think Quad is someone who really understands the map well and locks in that Ryze.
Well, FlyQuest are not 100% convinced that that is going to be the trademark APA NEeko. They want to further put pressure on the mid lane pool. They'll take out the Cassio, the very common response pick into Ryze. Over on the other side, though, targeting the bottom lane some more. Another one of those enchanters you mentioned, Emily, and Nami is out.
And APA does deserve that respect. Everyone always talks about, oh yeah, Quad was a Cassiopeia main, but so was APA in solo queue. Cassiopeia, Aurelion Sol, these champions as well. So I like the cover there. They cover both bases, and then still also throw the Bard ban. So whether it goes to support or whether it goes to mid lane, they're respecting both options.
I was like, you talk about covering both bases. They covered the base of, okay, maybe this NEeko isn't going mid, but then also maybe this NEeko isn't going bot with the Bard ban, and we'll see what Cloud9. Okay, so yeah, we're just banning out all enchanters. We do not want this FlyQuest bot lane to have that kind of super, super powerful pushing 2v2.
And I definitely agree. Massu has been on an absolute tear. Massu, I think, is just playing exceptionally at the moment. You know, on this roster, a lot of people are looking at him and Quad, of course, as you know, the members that are kind of staying on the squad and they're rebuilding around those two carries, and he definitely has been up to the challenge thus far. So taking away some of those enchanter supports that would buff him up and allow him to carry harder. Also, those champions really kind of screw over jungle carry Ambesa. So you don't want to play into a polymorph if you're Ambesa and you're looking at, you know.
Or like Nami Bubble. Yeah. Definitely don't want that coming in to stop you. Now I'm curious to see what FlyQuest is going to do, because as we already mentioned, that NEeko can still go bot, and they are saving that pick for last, so we'll see where things shake out for them. Corki, kind of the old reliable, locked in for Zven down there, also pretty powerful laner.
Yeah, very versatile, has his own safety with the Valkyrie. So any kind of like Alistar lane that you're going to come up with still should be fine down there. Okay, and so we do get the NEeko support revealed here with the Galio lock-in. I guess you can still, if you want to, Flowers, leave that door open for support Galio.
There's a possibility.
Yeah.
That door is like a really old door.
We don't use that door very often.
It's crumbling.
It really does. Nobody's gone in there in a long time.
We don't even really know what's behind that door anymore.
It's still there, but nobody's actually
technically
walked through it in a while.
Well, the Galio and the NEeko 1-2 punch is that massive AoE, like hard CC engage that C9 are going to be looking for when they start these fights off. Over on the other side for FlyQuest, last pick of their draft will be Jhin from Massu.
Yeah, and it's something that Massu specifically, we've seen him have so much success on in the LCS already this year. In their first series that we were looking at, he had an absolute insane Jhin performance there. But I'm looking at C9's comp, and I'm just seeing so much CC layering and setup potential for the main damage dealers on this. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, previous to this, you know, Gryffinn had played the carry jungle Ambesa for FlyQuest to success. They won that game. Blaber had played the Zaahen jungle as well to success for Cloud9, and so we're kind of switching champions here. And
time to get into the game.
I am really bad about messaging my family, actually.
Bro, I didn't even know what WhatsApp was until I started doing international events. I have never heard about that. Like, growing up in a cornfield, that doesn't exist. Like, so, that's not real.
Yeah, I do use WhatsApp to talk to friends from other countries just because it's, like, you know, the thing that they use.
Also, Jat is a total Apple shill, like
yeah,
just pushing the Apple propaganda, like that is crazy. You're trying to make people feel the FOMO that is this totally convoluted, like, oh, you're not into blue text.
Yeah.
you gotta buy an Apple phone. Oh my God. They got him hook, line, and sinker. He is in deep.
I will say, regardless of what messaging app I have, despite the fact that I have a pretty good relationship with my parents now, I don't talk to them as often as I should.
Well, thankfully
you should tell them to tune into this game now, because we're finally back live on the Rift. Let's see what we get here. I'm so glad the audio issues are fixed. Both of our junglers are starting on the top side of the map, pathing towards that bottom part. And you know what that means? It's more likely that we get a crab fight since they're both going to be in the same place.
We love the crab fight. We love junglers just visiting bot. We've talked about how important these bot 2v2s are as we see the lane kind of going as expected here. The turret hugging has begun.
And I would actually guess, because, you know, the first scuttle crabs are mirrored. We're not going to get a fight over them. If your bot lane is getting pushed in, then usually you just go to the top crab instead. And
yeah, but I want to dream.
Yeah, you got to wait for that third one, buddy. Don't worry. We're going to we'll put a timer up there. We'll get the third one.
Kobe and I have it covered.
Okay, I'm going to trust you guys.
Trust us. And more, our graphics team has it covered.
Bot lane, though, going to get pushed in. Topside as well. So Thanatos on Ksante getting the early shove onto the Rumble, giving two pushing lanes here for Cloud9 on both sides of the map. And we'll see what Blaber does, assuming he's going to go just right over to the bottom scuttle crab, though. Should be able to grab his first, and then assuming that Gryffinn is going to go the other side. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, APA is taking a decent amount of damage here on Galio. You have to trade your health for CS, but Quad is doing a very good job. Nice, healthy CS lead for himself. Taking a lot of opportunities to harass the Galio as well. And the Scuttlecraft fight is actually happening.
Oh, man. I told you, Kobe, you just have to believe. Okay, Gryffinn's going to start this fight off here a little bit, but it's Blaber with the much faster burst at the very start. They want to try to get in there as Gryffinn's going to be taken down to 200 HP. Blaber stays alive. First blood over to APA as Cryogen now has to try to escape C9. Blaber and the Crabbers get their job done.
Yup, he had his team there to back him up. Clutch NEeko route coming out of Vulcan there as well. Blaber secures the crab. He's now headed up topside to grab that other crab. he thus far is winning the crab wars, Kobe.
It's really unfortunate for Gryffinn too, because if you lose the first two, you're already going to be significantly behind in experience, you know, even before the third one comes. So it is looking very good for Cloud9 in a world that revolves around crabs. Really though, jumping on the fight and just bursting Gryffinn down was the very big deal here. You know, Vulcan was talking a lot of chat early on before the game even started during the pause, you know, about the prowess there of NEeko, but definitely huge influence there. APA and Vulcan collapsing, and both flashes for both mid laners used to get there quick enough.
Yeah, and we'll see if the junglers want to take advantage of that as APA kind of puts on a little harass. Here we go. Record when getting double scuttle, 4-2 for LCS lock-in teams.
Yeah, double scuttle is looking good. That is, remember the stats for just getting the third crab was only like a 42% win rate? Just with the little data that we do have so far, but double scuttle, that's huge.
Okay, Cryogen and Massu trying to fight their way back out from underneath the shadow of the tier 1 turret where they've been trapped this entire time, but Zven and Vulcan still just fine right now. Cryogen low enough on HP that the Alistar doesn't really want to continue trying to walk up and take damage. Zven's going to go ahead and go for the recall angle here, return to base, make his purchases, lock in a little bit of extra damage there with the long swords, and Massu and Cryogen will be happy to not have that Corki in their face, even if it's only for one quick recall.
Yeah, it's a quick reprieve as we see Gakgos clearing out the wave with Equalizer, so he is going to have his back, and Vulcan just continuing to kind of poke at that Alistar.
Also, it actually is a good thing for APA to get the kill credit, by the way, because Galio, even if you're looking at from Ambesa's, you know, perspective, if Galio gets the early money, then Galio is getting early bombing sender, which is going to go into an early hollow radiance, which means your mid laner is going to have no problem, you know, pushing waves and dealing with the minions, and will be able to join you on all of your plays in the future as well. So APA kind of being funded into his Dark Seal plus his health potion, his refillable health potion, and the wave clear from your bombies is like a really good early state for Galio.
Corki Gatling. The worst part is I'm now going to subconsciously associate Corki's Gatling gun with Emily for like the rest of my life.
We're getting back in. That is unfortunate.
As soon as if we ever get that bug, it's like, oh no, Emily's attacking us.
No, it's the Emily bug.
Again. Oh, God.
Okay, so the Drake did go over to Cloud9 to the surprise of what I would assume is no one. And
here we go.
There's our Scuttle Crab. This is our third crab.
Yeah, the crab, and they're just making a beeline for it right now. So it's gotta be Blaber's because he got the previous two crabs. So unfortunately, we're not gonna get a battle over this Scuttle Crab. Yeah. But as you can see, we still gotta use these. Our graphics team made some beautiful.
Our graphics team absolutely smurfed this. When me and Kobe wanted this request. So thank you, LCS graphics team. You guys are amazing.
Ooh, flash in the bottom lane. Cryogen and Massu looking to make their move on Zven. The Corki escapes, 200 HP remaining. Did not have to spend his flash, but now the barrier's down.
Yeah, barrier's down, and FlyQuest should be able to push this wave in, get some turret gold for themselves.
We're not done yet. Zven's about to die. Cryogen goes in for the dive, needs to stun him up here, get that trample. Zven still escaping for now, but Cryogen just knocks that Corki over. Vengeance for having to listen to the Gatling gun.
Oh, yeah. They were not happy about that pause. They're going to get more than turret plate money, too. The dive, I like that dive. Really nicely done. And we kind of set it up as, you know, how well Massu has been playing for FlyQuest. He's doing heavy carrying. It's unfortunate. Yeah, okay, last hit had to go to Cryogen, but you take that any day, you know, actually securing the kill and getting it on the dive. So that's very, very big stuff for this bottom lane. I also immediately pulled up chat because I wanted to see if Massu and Cryogen were gonna say anything back to Zven after the early stages, but they decided, you know, maybe they did go on mute and they're gonna take the more conservative route. But here's another look at it. We saw it start up and then getting your fourth shot, he goes grenade into fourth shot, gets the burst, and he's like, Cryogen, you can finish the job. He's got his trample, boom, gets the empowered auto attack to finish it off and secure the kill.
And really nice recognition of when they can go in. Cryogen has talked so much about how much he respects Massu kind of in this lane, what he's brought, how aggressive they've been. He kind of credits to Massu, and now Gryffinn's here. Yeah,
and Cryogen as well, such a young player, you know, so much ahead of him, you have to think. And going for his flash there. Now he's going to have Hex Flash for Alistar, still very useful. Yep. And approaching his level 6. So we'll see about the fight over vision on bottom side. Control wards still stand here. Nice defensive control wards for FlyQuest, just in the upper Fey lights in their tri-brush, so they feel pretty secure about that one. And Gryffinn just gets to go for his reset. Blaber, however, still is going to have his jungle lead. So Blaber on the Ambesa will retain the early CS lead from those extra crabs, and we'll take a look at the top side of the map. As
here we
bottom
go.
side?
No, bottom side's already got another fight as they want to try to turn things around here with a Pop Blossom, and Cryogen falls critically not level 6 yet on that Alistar, so there's no unbreakable will. They take their opportunity, they seize the chance, they knock him down.
Yeah, really nice recognition. After Gryffinn has backed, they stuck around. I thought they were just going to stop the backs, but no, they went fully in, and like you already pointed out, Flowers, since Alistar is still at level 5 for Cryogen, he cannot pop that unbreakable will to keep himself alive.
And Gryffinn, while I was looking at the minimap, he had already been kind of going over to the grubs, and so he immediately takes one of them and the Scuttle Crab up there, but gets out immediately because the play was actually so fast on bottom side that you can't stick around and take the rest of those because you know Blaber's going to reset and get back to the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, and Blaber already with the Profane Hydra fully completed. The difference in power between junglers right now is pretty massive.
Yeah, that is significant. So much kill pressure there. It gives you lethal in a lot of extra scenarios here with the full combo from Ambesa plus a Profane activation. So honestly, there's a lot of places to look at the moment, but
where would you look?
I mean,
you.
Dragon.
It's pretty hard. Well, I usually want to try and make a play either on mid lane or bottom lane first, you know, preemptively before the dragon gets here, so you can get some summoner spells out maybe. Problem is, like, Ryze with Ghost and Flash and Phase Rush is pretty slippery. So I don't think they're actually going to be able to make one of those like preemptive plays because Cryogen now also is level 6, so it's kind of hard on both sides. So maybe they just move in and they force it and try and get their vision coverage here through the river first.
Okay, there's our Sundered Sky for Gryffinn being completed. You could also see the Kanik Rookern fully done now in the top lane for Thanatos. That's kind of like the big sigh of relief item for anybody laning against Rumble. That's where you start to just be able to use the shield to shrug off the aggressive Flame Spitter trading. And honestly, Thanatos is totally happy with how this lane is going so far. I mean, you're a couple waves up in farm, feeling good. Okay, Gryffinn tries to go in for the flash into the dreaded return. Defensive NEeko ulti to try to stop it, but FlyQuest still needs a little bit more damage to try to grab the kill, but they won't quite get there. Vulcan gets the kill onto Gryffinn, but APA takes Cryogen out. Quad makes his way into the fight, but now he's got to try to retreat. He cannot do it, and C9 are up 5-2.
Ooh, NEeko and Galio all combination here. Vulcan has survived so long too. He was able to go out the back, and so it actually required Quad's flash investment to end up securing that kill.
Yeah, as we see, Gryffinn is able to go in, but immediately Pop Blossom. Zven is completely untouched here too. And as you already talked about, Kobe, Vulcan lives for so long as the Galio comes down on top of them. Quad is dead as well in the back half of that fight. Really, really big early win for C9.
Yeah, I mean, it required Quad then flashing in to secure the kill onto NEeko, and that means not only were they able to kill him, but no flash now for repeat plays. So huge opportunities for Cloud9 all across the map. Remember how that last series went, Flowers? We were hoping that it would be a little bit of a different story here this time, but Cloud9 have been so good. Wow.
I don't think it was supposed to go right there.
That was
I would say no.
He was drawing the pathway that he wanted to take.
He laid out the red carpet for himself.
Yeah, to go back home by his turret.
To the safety of the turret. All right, a little bit of an unlucky misclick there from Gakgos to lose his Rumble ult for a whole lot of nothing. Problem is, there's the top lane might be covered in red, but the scoreboard is covered in blue. There are advantages for C9 in every single individual role, and you can see at the top of your screen, there's still not the mid lane quest completed for Quad. So FlyQuest is starting to fall behind pretty significantly.
And the big swap in that river skirmish that FlyQuest ended up starting themselves is that going into the Drake fight, I thought Massu was in the best position, right? Because he was the only one who had a gold lead over his opponent going in. Now Zven, I think it bumped up almost to 1K now at about 800 gold. So that was a really big gold swing.
I like what Blaber is doing, you know, continue to push the lead. He's got the jungle lead, he's got mid push, he's got bottom side push. Go in, go for the invade, steal away the blue buff here. Really keep FlyQuest out of it, keep that pressure on. Cloud9 just looks so comfortable yet again.
Yup.
Does not bode well here for FlyQuest.
And remember, C9 chose FlyQuest as their opponent. After the best of 3 that we got to see last week, clearly they were feeling confident to pick these guys to go up against them here in the first round of brackets. And so far, so good here in game number 1, as we are just about a minute away from those points we were checking in on from the previous series. And FlyQuest really wants to get that gold difference at 15 down closer to what it looked like in the previous game 2 instead of the game 1 or game 3. Gryffinn is here, C9 posturing aggressively, Cryogen taking a ton of burst damage. Pop Blossom lands, Cryogen gets away for now. Gryffinn cannot charge up his blood. There's no way for him to ever try to resurrect because the Zaahen cannot move in these fights.
Yeah, immediately the Ambesa suppress comes in as if the initial CC weren't enough. You saw both junglers kind of hovering there. I also had seen earlier APA kind of fainting towards that bot side. I thought C9 were potentially gonna set up a possible dive, and now you just have APA hammering away at this turret, C9 continuing to just find plays around the map.
Yeah, the weakness of Zaahen is short fights. And I don't think that we have seen a single time this whole game where he has been able to stack his passive, the Cultivation of War. Every fight has been so quick. He has been targeted every fight, so he has not been able to hit enough champions to stack up that passive. I don't believe a single time in this whole game, and it does not get better because once you're behind, then you're going to be squishier. You will continue to be the target. You will continue to be easy to burst down, and so it continues to look rough here as Cloud9's onslaught. They're just going to really wear away at these outer towers as well. Turret plates going down on mid. They've already rotated Zven and Vulcan over to that lane, and so Cloud9 just kind of moving forward very effectively here, only 15 minutes in, and they've got a clear pathway to victory.
Yeah, that entire little run of play after the bot side skirmish, you have them going up, getting Scuttle, like you said, pressuring mid. Earlier down in that bot lane, APA on Galio was pressuring that bot turret. So C9 are really, really well set up.
And I feel like all of those mid lane bans that we saw back in draft from FlyQuest have really not done a whole lot of damage to APA. 2-0 and 3 here on the Galio. Obviously, it's fitting in very well with the comp and how they're using it alongside the NEeko. C9 just seems completely undeterred.
Honestly, I feel like any time like the narrative restarts of APA being like, oh, he can only play a few champions, etc., he just ends up proving everyone wrong. And it's kind of happening again, despite the fact that he hasn't actually played a lot of different champions thus far because he hasn't been challenged in the as much in the best of threes.
I'll tell you what it did do, Flowers. Those mid lane bans, they made him look cooler because now he's using the new Transformer skin.
Yeah.
So he's like Optimus Prime Galio, looking.
It just makes you feel like a leader, like you want to jump into the battle.
He's looking pretty good. Blaber also looking pretty good here with his healthy gold lead on Ambesa. And Rift Herald activated mid. That one's going to take that, and they could.
Yup, they're looking to go in and make their move, and it's Blaber leading the charge. Here comes heroic entrance right down over the top as Cryogen's Alistar will not be tanky enough to survive any longer. Gryffinn still trying to stack up full of determination, and he finally gets a resurrection. But FlyQuest are still going to lose the fight. Gryffinn will not get anything out of that resurrect. 2 dead again for nothing traded back, and it's just another C9 team fight.
And on the back half of that fight, Vulcan is NEeko is kind of zoning out the rest of the team. As you see this happen, they pop Herald for priority, clear out that ward. Thanatos is here. Blaber immediately goes in on the Ambesa.
Yeah, Ambesa Galio combo is such powerful engage, and they're so far ahead. The secondary engage you're talking about,
Pop Blossom,
Vulcan Pop Blossoms 3, and then he flashes away. And he creates just so much extra time for the team. But, I mean, they're so far ahead. They're just steamrolling. You could tell Blaber's positioning there. He was just positioning so far forward, so aggressive. He's like, yes, I know. All I have to do is ult somebody, get inside for the Galio ult to go on top of me. And he sniped quad with his Ambesa ultimate, and they were able to, follow up very easily here. So FlyQuest, that is 3 dragons already. That is a very early Dragon Soul point, Flowers.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on FlyQuest to try and find some angle to do something, but C9 are just finding better fights. That last fight, Blaber was so empowered, so fearless. He just completed his Sundered Sky. He had the full 2-item power spike, and he led the charge.
Yeah, and it doesn't get better for FlyQuest because we mentioned the Galio and Galio being very good versus double AP solo laners. And then you also mentioned the Kaenic Rookhorn, which is basically makes Ksante have a Galio passive also. And so both solo laners for C9 have these massive magic shields that they can use over and over. Just go push the wave, soak up the shields. Blaber's looking aggressive again. All right, that's another blue buff, and he's eyeballing it.
Yep, they're thinking about it. Gryffinn and Quad trying to use the buddy system here in their own jungle, but they can see Zven on the approach through vision. Blaber is not going to get a chance to start another fight here just yet, but the clock is ticking. 3.5 minutes left until it'll be Ocean Soul for C9. And if things feel difficult already to try to punch through this front line on C9's side, it's going to become virtually impossible if they secure an Ocean Soul 23 minutes into the game.
Yeah, especially with, again, we talked about how this composition could work, right? The layering of the CC, the confidence that Blaber is going to have to get into these fights onto priority targets. We've seen it in pretty much every skirmish and full team fight that C9 has had. And now they can kind of set up the map however they want going forward to really pressure FlyQuest into making some, not even bad decisions, but because one thing I do appreciate about this FlyQuest team is they're always willing to try to go for something. And either, they end up winning a fight that looked disadvantageous at the start, or they kind of continue to lose and then go to the next game. I still think that's a really healthy attitude to have. And so we'll see what decisions FlyQuest will have on this map, because I know they'll still be looking for something.
Yeah, it's really hard for them to look good when you're this far behind, as maybe we have a little exchange here. Teleports on top side at the very least.
Yeah, we're going to get 2 TPs right next to each other. Cryogen ready for the arrival here of Thanatos. The Ksante taking a ton of damage and has to try to flash away. Now the Equalizer ready to follow as Curtain Call opens up. Thanatos going to be tanking here in the front, but the counter engage is big from C9. Pop Blossom into a heroic entrance, and they just suplex this fight, throw FlyQuest all the way out of the ring. This one's done.
And that's one of those scenarios where, like you're saying, you're so far behind. It's hard for it to look good, but you have to take an opportunity. If this Ksante is so low in front of you, they are actually able to burst him down, but the counter from from Cloud9 is better, so they should be able to get the Baron.
I was gonna say, that's kind of exactly what you and I have been talking about in terms of why not take the chance. That did look like they could have potentially turned it around if it wasn't for, again, just this ridiculous CC layering that we see from this C9 composition, because as Ksante goes in, he immediately gets rooted and stunned up and takes a lot of damage at the beginning of this fight, Kobe. Then the equalizer goes out. It looks like a really nice setup for the Jhin ult, but then again, the Pop Blossom, the Galio coming down on top of you. It's just so hard for FlyQuest to fight back with the kind of counter engage that C9 has, and with the wallet difference.
Yeah, there's a trampoline up in the top lane. Vulcan's bouncing on the first, and then Galio is going on top of the Ambesa ultimate, and they didn't get to touch the ground very much there. So anyways, Cloud9, now what's left to do, Flowers, with your Baron buff?
Well, you got 20 seconds until you can get yourself what should be essentially a free Ocean Soul on top of it. So they'll get these lanes pushed out a little bit. They'll apply some pressure towards the top side.
Right.
Zven flashes away. They wanted to try to use the Realm Warp to catch out the C9 AD carry, but now APA's wrapping around to try to make the fight go sideways. FlyQuest disengages before C9's counterpunch can land this time, but Thanatos is ready and waiting over the walls. FlyQuest feel the pressure. They know they can't afford to just give this soul away. They wanted to make the pick on Zven, but C9 reacted in time. Keep your eyes on Vulcan. Keep your eyes on APA. Vulcan just trying to bamboozle him a little bit there with the clone, as APA might be getting caught a little bit off to the side, but no, it's Cryogen taking a ton of damage here too. Gryffinn as well, they both fall down, and APA is still walking away. A taunt on the way out means there's no way for anybody to secure the kill. Meanwhile, Blaber was able to assassinate Massu solo in the jungle off to the side. It is an ace for nothing for C9.
Flowers. Cut the tape, my friend. Can I ask for a mercy rule?
This one.
Can I get a mercy ruling?
Looking like a go next.
Please, 10,000 gold lead Dragon Soul. Baron is still, they still have Baron. They're doing these fights so quickly. The Baron buff is still on.
Going down in chat, and the GG.
I feel the same way, man. Oh, man.
I thought surely, like, okay, maybe they're able to get Galio on the back half of this, just because he does end up taking so much damage here, but no.
Yeah, he gets his E off channeling. They just tank it. Blaber ults in as well, and they shred them in time. APA is able to kite away and live and have enough time to chat.
There's always enough time to chat.
The Pop Blossom on the back half of that, just like insult to injury.
Yeah,
for one person.
Vulcan has had a lot of big ones, but you know, you count these ones too.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm saying for FlyQuest, it's like, oh, that's when you're gonna.
Well, things
comes back up.
Even more scary now because Vulcan does have Seeker's arm guard ready to go unbroken for even more playmaking whenever he goes in. Death's Dance on Blaber, so he's even more difficult to assassinate here as well. And APA has decided it is time for the Book of BM. The Medjai's Soul Stealer completed with 10 stacks. FlyQuest again trying to use the Realm Warp to make a move onto APA, pulls him back with a dreaded return, but again, there's just no damage. APA just walks away from it. Curtain Call finally opens up, slows the C9 mid laner down enough to finally secure the kill for FlyQuest. And 25 minutes into the game, it feels like this is the first time FlyQuest have found a pick or found a move that C9 weren't able to punish.
I feel like the Medjai's is a curse sometimes. You know,
might be.
You're feeling yourself, you go back in.
Okay, Thanatos could now be in a little bit of danger, but no, nobody else is close enough to make that move happen there, so Quad is just going to push him back. So at least this is a very small amount of breathing room for FlyQuest. Now that APA is down, they know that C9 can't just be invading their jungle, making more moves, setting up the next wombo combo with the NEeko here just yet. But APA is going to respawn here very soon. 2 minutes until we get Baron back on the map, and then Elder will be showing up just a couple more after that. I feel like if you're FlyQuest, you recognize that the only possible way you can win this game is it has to be just absolute yakety sacks at Elder Dragon. That you get it and then you win a team fight and you just full send it down mid.
Yeah. My question is, when you buy a Medjai's and then you're walking around with 0 pages in your book, do you feel shame? Do you feel any shame?
No, I think you just. I think you go back to chat. You just start typing again.
Flowers goes, I can't read anyway. I don't need pages.
Doesn't matter to me.
I would feel shame personally, but if you're asking me if I think APA feels shame, no.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he probably never feels any.
I would feel mortified.
Well,
But I also have a lot less confidence.
Also,
than APA does.
if they ever say anything, then you can just be like, check the scoreboard.
Yeah, C9's biggest problem this game being the fact that APA's Magi Soulstealer currently looks silly.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. Problem to have. They're chilling overall, I think.
I don't know if they can come back from this, Flowers, this series. That's going to be some emotional damage, actually.
Right, yeah, the mental onslaught of having no pages in your book as FlyQuest will be forced out of their own jungle.
I was going to say the actual onslaught onto these turrets where we're
straight
just
down mid lane.
Yeah, we're just taking this inhib.
Okay, just mid lane inhibitor turret gone, mid lane inhibitor gone. FlyQuest, they have quad and bottom lane split pushing a tier 1 because they know that it's just impossible to win these fights. So C9 will say, sure, take the tier 1, that's all right. Have your objective bounty, 500 gold, whatever. Double inhibs claimed now for the C9 side as they'll finish off that last little bit of the health bar of the top lane inhib. FlyQuest posturing like maybe there's some kind of pursuit play to make here, but it's just so difficult to find anything.
Yeah, double inhibs, seeing them kind of back off, probably set up for this Baron take ahead of that Elder Drake fight. They're TPing in. I was going to say FlyQuest.
Full send! Get in there!
All right, FlyQuest wants to go in. Gakgos is going to lead the charge here with the Flame Spitter, but he doesn't get a whole lot of damage. C9 splitting their focus a little bit. Baron down to about 6,000 HP on the health bar, but Blaber goes over the wall, and Gryffinn is going to be his target. Meanwhile, off to the side, the heroic entrance finds its way on a Massu, and now there's pressure on the FlyQuest carries. They're already out of there. Quad can at least escape with the Realm Warp, but that's 2 dead on the FlyQuest side, one of which is the jungler. C9 don't even need the Baron. They're just going to march down mid, send APA up the top with the teleport, and go for the Nexus right now. FlyQuest trying to get any amount of healing that they might be able to from the fountain before they make their final stand. But I do not think this final stand is going to last very long. Nexus turrets already getting chunked low as APA's comfortable there on the front line. Thanatos the same, goes for the Pathmaker, trying to knock Gakgos back. Thanatos does take a lot of damage from the turret, but still nowhere close to dead. Second Nexus turret already gone. FlyQuest, there's nothing they can do from this position. 29 minutes into the game, 13,000 gold lead, 18-4. C9 smacked them in game 1.
Lounge, how good are Cloud9?
Very good. Very good. Very good. Jet? Close game. Close game.
I like how APA was just already out of the room before the Nexus exploded.
Yeah, the moment cameras were shown, he's already just in someone else's camp.
Brother has places to be.
Mm-hmm. The washroom specifically.
He's Galio ulting somewhere else.
Yeah. Go to the washroom.
Fast game APA, baby. He is a full room ahead of the rest of his team.
Yeah, he has Galio ult. He's using his semi-global.
He's got places to be.
Okay, in this